Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel from Bricks to Byte. I'm Debarjun. Today in this video, we're going to learn about Python's basics such as syntax, variables, comments, and how does Python works. Today in this video, we're going to learn how Python works and how should we write our code in Python. But before that, if you haven't seen my first introduction video, please watch that video first because you are going to miss some things, or you can say you will not understand some basic things also. Please finish that video and come back here. So in this video, we're going to see Python syntax. Let's start with them. Python syntax is like a grammar for this programming language. Syntax refers to the set of the rules that defines how to write and organize code so that Python interpreter can understand and write it correctly. These rules ensure that your code is structured, formatted, and error-free. Now we have learned how to execute Python syntax in the introduction video. So we're gonna write print in expression hello world, and it's gonna print hello world. Okay. Now we're going to learn what is Python indentation. Indentation refers to the space at the beginning of the line code, where in other programming language the indentation in the code is for readability only. But in the indentation in Python is very infinite. For example, you must be thinking, what is the indentation? You can say indentation is basically a space between the codes. So for example, as you can see, I have written this code: if 5 is greater than 2, print 5 is greater than 2. So where are the integration? Mostly the integration is the space here. So I'm just gonna, if I can, so the space here is called integrations. So without this space, Python will give you error, or you can say you can get some error while writing in Python. As you can see in the example, Python will give you an error if you escape the indentation, such as this. Now, for example, the number of space is up to you as a programmer. The most common use is 4, but there has to be at least 1. Now, as you can see, before that, you can see this is a block of Python. Okay. For example, in here I have used only one space. If 5 is greater than 2, space, print 5 is greater than 2. If 5 is greater than 2, there are several space, print Python space. So where are this calls the two blocks. One block is here. I'm just gonna color it in different color. Okay, I'm just gonna color it. This is block number 1. Okay, and this is block number 2. So we're just gonna use the block number 2 with a green. Okay, now as you can see, this one is block number 1 and block number 2. So what are basically the blocks? Basically the blocks are the one you can see if you have this and print, and this number block 1, and if you have this and this. Now for example, we're going to see another example. If you have to use the same number of space in the same block of code, otherwise Python will give you an error. Now what is the same number of block? As you can see, we don't have any kind of if here. Okay, we just have this simply way, like if 5 is greater than 2, print 5 is greater than 2, print 5 is greater. So what happened, we have used in the first case as a one space, and we have used more than one space in the second. But as you can see, this is in the same block, not like these two blocks. This is in the same block, so it's going to give us an error. Okay, I hope you have understand the basics of integration and how to use it. So moving to the Python variables. In Python, variables are created when you assign a value to it. So we know x, we know what's are variables, but now I'm just gonna say variables in Python is, for example, x equal to 5, y equals to hello world. So as you can see in the example, is say in Python variables are created when you assign a value. The value is 5 and hello world. Okay, so the moment you assign a value, a variable is created in Python. Okay, for example, but before that we're just going to see comments. Python has commenting capability for the purpose of an encode document. Comments start with a hash and Python will render the rest of the as a comment. For example, this is how you're going to use how you're going to start a comment. Just use the hash and write whatever you want in the comment. Okay, Python will treat it as a comment. This is the basic things. Now moving to this, Python comments can be used to explain Python codes. You can use it to explain what this code of line is used for, etc, etc. Now creating a comment. Comment starting with a hash, Python will ignore them. For example, like this. Comment can be placed at the line end of the line, and Python will ignore the rest of the line. For example, print hello world, and this is a comment. So comment will ignore the rest, this rest of the line, and show only hello world. Now multiple line comments. Python does not really have a syntax for multiple comments. To add a multiple comment, you could use state for each other. So you have to insert hash to every command use. So there are no syntax for multiple comments. Okay, but since Python will you ignore strings that are not visible to variable, you can easily use a medical script, quadratron, etc, etc. For example, if you have if you want to add a longer comment, or you can say multiple comments, you can use this triple quotation technique, just like that, and inside the triple quotation this will be the comment, and Python will just ignore it, but it will be there in a code, and just Python gonna show you this hello world. Now creating variables. I hope you have finished understanding the basics of comment and how to use it and how to create it. Now creating variables. Variables are containers for storing data. We all know that. Python has no command for declaring variables. Okay, such as there are so many programming language, they just have command to declare a variable, but in Python there are no commands to declare a variable. The moment you assigned a value to anything, that's automatically becomes a variable. Okay, for example, when you assigned 5 to x, x become automatically a variable, just as a y becomes a variable when you assign John. So print x and y, it will print both. Variables do not need to be declared with any particular type and can be changed type and after have been set. Okay, for example, x equal to 4. X is type of interpret, or you can say intuition, and x equal to Sally, x is now type of string. So remember, when you put a number in a variable, it's automatically become integration. I'm just gonna mark this so you have a better understanding. Okay, but when you have ever assigned words, sentence, or you can say letters, it's become string automatically. But remember, to in number you don't have to use the quotation number, or you can say quotation, so like this, but in words or letters you have to use quotation. Simple. Now when you print x, it's automatically gonna print any connectivity. But for example, if you have set a x equal to 4, it's going to print 4. If you again change it to the Sally, it gonna print Sally. Okay, now casting. If you want to specify the data type of variables, it can be done within casting. So for example, x equal to string 3, y equal to integer 3, and z equal to float 3. So now you need to understand the casting of it. Okay, first of all, I have already told that here that in number you don't need to use quotation, but in string you need to use the quotation. So for string, I have used string. I have used the 3 as a string, and it is showing quotation. Okay, and for integration, it's not going to show any kind of, just show plain 3. And for float, it's going to show us decimal types question. Okay, so now get the type. You can get the data type of variables with a type function. So there are type function. You can get any kind of documents or functions. It's of what type of function is this, you can get it like that. So for example, I have already said that 5 equal to, or you can say the numerics are iterations and the letters inside the quotations are strings. But if you have a doubt, you can use this print type x, and it will show what type of variable the x is. And if you print type y, it's going to show what type of variable the y function is. Okay, now single or double quotation. So there are some simple there are some doubts, or you can say confusions, that in Python, that do I need to use the single or double quotation, because I have seen other people using singles and other people using double quotation. Well, it's up to you. You can use single quotation or you can use double quotation, but remember that if you use single quotation, you need to use the single quotation for the whole block of the code. And after finishing the block, you can change to double quotation or single quotation if you want to stay in the same. Okay, such as you can use double quotation and single quotation, same as this. Okay, but remember, if you use, do not mix up with single and quotation. If you start using double, make sure it should be double, and if you are using single, then it should be single. But it is only this formula is only to apply to the block of the code. Now, case sensitives. Variable names are case sensitive. In Python's variable names are case sensitive. There can be so many confusion in it. So just try to understand in an easy and simple way. For example, it's a small letter A, and this is a capital letter A. Both are A, but one is capital, one is singular. So for example, in letter, we have a 4 integration, we have a 0. A will not overwrite A. It will create two different things. I mean, two different variables. Python will treat these two A's as two different variables. Remember, Python will create two different variables as capital letter A will not override small letter a. Now, Python variable names. There are some rules to create for variables names you should follow. Okay, a variable can have a short name like x and y, or a more descriptive name such as age, car name, total value. Okay, but there are some rules for Python variables. A variable name must start with a letter or an underscore character. Okay, these are the things you should remember or note down. A variable name cannot start with a number. You should always remember that in Python you cannot start a variable name with a letter, or the variable name always should have to be start with a letter. or you can say underscore character. A variable name can only obtain alphanumeric character and underscore such as capital letter A, Z, capital letter A to Z, or 0 to 9 and underscore. Okay, these also the things you need to remember or you can note down. Variable names are case sensitive, such as age, small letter age, capital letter age, and all age are three different variables. As we have learned, Python will treat each of these three as a different three variables. Okay. Now a variable name cannot be a panic cost. Okay. So you just need to type on, go to your browser and type Python keywords on your Google search engine. You will find many kind of references, but you will find I will put a descriptive link and in the description. Now for example, some legal variable names such as my var, my underscore var, underscore my underscore var, my var, my var, my var. Okay. Now these are legals. You should always follow these rules. Okay. Now illegal variables names. As we know, you cannot start a variable names with a number. So this is why this is illegal. Okay. Now you must say why it is showing my var as illegal, because it hasn't used the underscore, it has used the underscore. Okay. So another thing that you cannot put a space. Okay, you cannot put a space directly like that, you have to use underscore. That's why it is also an ego. Okay. Now I hope you have understand how variable names are case sensitives. Now moving to the next, multi-words variable names. Variable names with more than one word can be difficult to read. There are several techniques you can use to make them more readable. For example, camel case. Each word except the first start with a capital letter. Okay. Now what is that? Each letter, I mean the first thing, okay, start with a capital letter. My variable name equal to John. Okay. Now what is Pascal case? Each word start with a capital letter. For example, the only difference is that this M and this M, otherwise everything is same. Okay. Now snake case, each word is separated by an underscore character. As you can see, the underscore. Okay. Now many values to multiple variables. Python allows you to assign values to multiple variables in one line. You can assign multiple variables like this. For example, x, y, z equal to orange, banana, and cherry. Now as you can see, x equal to orange, y equal to banana, and z equal to cherry. So you just print this out. Simple as that. But also you can use this if you have only single variable, or can say single value, but you have to create a multiple variable, then you can use it. X equal to y equal to z equal to orange, print x, y, z. This will do the same thing. But okay. Now unpack a collection. If you have a collection of a value in a list, table, etc., Python allows to extract the value into variables. This is called unpacking. For example, fruit. Okay. Now as you can see, fruit, there are several types of fruits: apple, banana, cherry. X, Y, Z equal to fruit, and it will show us apple as a Y, X, banana as a Y, and cherry as a Z. Simple as that. Now we are going to understand output variables. The Python print function is often used to output variables. So x equal to Python is awesome. Just print x and it will show. So mostly the output variables is the the print the print the print except the x, just like this. You can I can also use this. Okay, the output variables mean print x space. Now in printx function you output multiple variables separated by a comma. For example, x equal to Python x equal to this. As you can see, it is easy to understand if you but there are things you can also use as an operator. But remember guys, I don't recommend using operators such as subtractor, instructor, bagara. So because it gonna create some confusion, such as there will be no space in the output. Okay, for example, as you can see, Python is awesome, same as this, just with instead of comma we are going to use the plus. Okay, but it going to show us what? It going to show us like this. Python is awesome. As I have said before, these operators are mathematics operators, so you can use it on numeric or mathematics things, issues for mathematics works, but do not mix up these operators while if you have strings, because it gonna show up like this with no space and it gonna look ugly. And for numbers, it is require operator numbers. Okay, for example, 5 equal 5 and 10, and gonna show us 15. It's 15. Okay, in Python conventional string. Now but when you try to combine a string with a number with a property set, Python will give you an error. That's why I don't recommend using the operator, plus operator, or just a subtraction operator in Python if you are using string. If there is any kind of string variable, if there is an integration variables such as numeric variables, then you can use it, but I don't recommend using the operating system. This is the basic things, you can note it out. Okay, so this is another example. It's going to give us error. Okay, and also the best way to output variables in Python is to separate them with commas. As I have said, don't use it if you have an integration and a string. But if both variables are numeric, then you can use the plus 10, but don't use it if you just use comma institution. Otherwise this example is gonna give you an error. So this is the correct way how to use the integration and string. Now global variables that are created outside a function, as an all of the example in the previous page, are known as global variables. Global variables can be used by everyone, both inside of function and outside. Okay, now as you can see, this code is different than other code we have seen in the examples. For example, I'm just gonna example. X equal to awesome, and as you can see, it's a string. Now it's saying that define my function and print Python is plus x and function. Now if you having some kind of problem or issue understanding that, let me explain it easily. Just remember that x equal to awesome. Okay, now it is saying that define my function is strict to print. We have space, print Python is plus, as you know, plus can be used, okay, and x and my function. So I'm just gonna run it on my base code to see to let you see how it gonna show. It's going to show us just like this. Python is awesome. Just gonna run it. Do I need to save it? Yeah, I need to save it. Okay, I have saved it, and I'm just gonna wait. Yes, it has shown that Python is awesome. But if just remember that x equals to awesome, and it is, we are telling that define my function, okay, this also a function, define my function, print Python is, the Python is, and inside the quotation and plus x equal to awesome, finish. And why we haven't used the quotation mark in the x, because x have already quotation mark inside the awesomes. We have quotation mark of already inside the we have awesome in what inside the quotation mark already, that's why we haven't used it. And my function is equal to that, and it's going to show us like that Python is awesome. Okay, I hope you have understand. If you haven't understand, just comment below, I will explain it in the next video. If you create a variable with the same name inside a function, this variable can be local and can be used inside the function. The global variable with the same name will remain as it is, global with the global variable. For example, create a variable inside a function with the same name as the global variables. Now, as you can see, x equal to awesome, and it is, we are going to tell our that define my functions, x equal to fantastic. There are two x right now. Now what x is gonna take? Just remember, this is our local one, and this is our, you can say, global one. Now it's saying that create a variable inside a function. So we have created a variable inside a function, and this is the variable we have created inside the function with the same name as the global variable. With the same name, I mean what name? X. Okay, so which x is gonna take? It's gonna take both of them, because as you can see, print x is equal to x. Also, after closing the function, we are also have print equal to x. It's gonna show Python is fantastic and Python is awesome, except the end word. For example, I'm just gonna let you show. If you don't understand it, I'm just gonna run it. Python is fantastic, Python is awesome. As I have said before, it's gonna pick up all of them. Now, the global keyword. Normally, when you create a variable inside a function like this, the variable is local and can be used used inside the function. To create a global variable inside a function, you can use the global keyword. So there are some global keywords. You can search it on the internet, or I will just leave the links on my description. You can find that. If you use the global keyword, the variable belongs to the global scope like that. Define my function global x, and x equal to fantastic. My function is fantastic, and it gonna show that Python is equal to fantastic, but it is showing this global. So global keyword belongs to global scope. You're going to use the global keywords as a scope. Also, using the global word, if you want to change a global word inside a function, you can use it x equal to awesome. Remember, it is outside in the x equal to option, define, etc, etc, all are the same. Okay, so this is the basic things I wanted to teach you before starting into start digging into the deep advanced program Python. So I hope you have understand. Now before ending the video, I want to say that I apologize. I'm sorry for the being late uploading it. I was busy with my office work and my studies and etc etc personal works. So I will try to release at least one or two videos per week. So I hope to finish this series in next year January or February, or maybe before that. But if you like my video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and let's get back to it.